and welcome to another episode. In today's episode, I am going to be explaining what is a method in JavaScript. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so to get started in today's episode, I want you to open the same website that we have been using so far, which is MDN and w3schools.com. On MDN, I need you to go into the search box, and what you're going to do is type in method, just method without the S. And you are going to click on the first article that you'll see there. And then on JavaScript, I need you to jump into the JavaScript section. You're going to go all the way down to where it says JS objects, and you're going to click object methods. Okay, and as well, I have opened the same file that we have been coding so far with and my source code, as you can see in here. So those are going to be the things that we're going to be using for today's episode. Okay, so what is a method? Let's go and jump into MDN and let's read a little bit. So a method is a function which is a property of an object. It's pretty simple, right? I mean, straightforward. A method is a function. We saw what a function is in our previous episode, so I know that you're very familiar with it. But just to explain real quick, a method is a function, meaning that with a method, we can do something. Now, it's a property of an object, so it belongs to a property that an object has. With this, you have enough information to know specifically that inside of an object, you could have a property that is also a function, okay? So far, so good, right? If you have questions, remember, you can always leave them in the comment section below so I can clarify your doubts, okay? Now, let's jump into W3 schools because I need you to know what the word this is in an object. So when we create a function in an object, there is going to be the word this that is going to help us to retrieve information from the actual object. So in JavaScript, the this keyword refers to the object itself. Here is a quick example. Here is a property and here's a function. This portion right here is what we call a method, right? Because this is a function that belongs to a property which is inside of an object, right? So this method right here, if you see inside of the brackets, it has the word this. So this refers to an object. So this refers to the person right here. Okay. So if you use this dot last name, you're referring to this person last name, which in this case will be Doe, right? So in order to make things clearer for you, I am going to jump into our code and we're going to type in a function and we're going to create an object so that you can see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and let's open up our code. I also want you to open the document that we have been working so far with. Now we already have here an object that we have coded before. So what I'm going to do simply is delete what I have written on top. Okay. And let's see. I am also going to delete. Okay, I am going to delete all this information right here, just so we do not change any info there. Okay, so let's hit save, and now I'm going to hit refresh. So the only chunk of code that I am staying with is with the functions that we created in our previous episode. We have 1, 2, and 3 functions that we created yesterday. And I am also leaving the object that we have typed in, and I'm also leaving the console.logs that we have done to it. So as you can see on this object, we have the name John. We know that his age is 25, and we know that his occupation is a software developer, right? So if you type in console.log and you type in person's name, you know that his name, right, is John right here. Right? The console will tell us, yeah, his name is John. Okay, perfect. So we know that. Now, what's John's age? We say person.age, and then it'll tell us, okay, so his age is 25, right? Same as it is in here. What's his occupation? And so on and so forth. You can go ahead and console.log all that information in here. But with a method, we can do something. Okay, so what I am going to do is add a function in here. And I'm going to add actually a property that contains a function, which is going to be a method. So I can go ahead and actually say here, let me go ahead and create another property, which is going to be called what is your name. Okay. And I am going to make this a function. Okay. We're going to make this a function. Now, inside of this function, we're going to create an action. So whenever that we go ahead and we use this property do something rather than the other ones just showing some information, right? So we can go ahead and we can say console.log, and then we're going to use the keyword this, which refers to this person, and then name. Okay. So if I ask to the console to log this name whenever I use this property, then this function itself should give me this person's name. Okay, it's not the same as saying console.log person's name, because this property doesn't have a name. As you can see, this property has an instruction that whenever it's called, it'll give me this object's name. Okay, this object's name, which in this case is John, right? So I am going to hit save. I am going to hit refresh, just so you can take a look at something very interesting that is going to happen. As you can see, we added a function. Now, in our previous episode, I told you that a function can be called in any portion of your code, right? Now, in this case, since this function is inside of an object, which belongs to a property, and it's considered a method. Now, if I go ahead and I try to call this function like we were doing before in, let's say, this functions right here. As you can see, I use say hello, sum of two, etc. If I try to use it like that, the console is not going to show me anything. So to call this method right here, all I have to do is say person dot what is your name. Okay, and I use in this instance parentheses because this is a method. Okay, this is a method right here. So person, what is your name? I'm asking what is your name, because that's the name of the property that we created, right? So when I hit save, and now if I go ahead and I hit refresh, see, it says that his name is John. Now that it's in here because I placed it on top of all the other console logs we did before, but I can go ahead and reposition this so you don't get confused at the bottom. Let's hit save, and now let's hit refresh. Okay, and now as you can see here, we have the word John in there. Okay, so here, as you can see, we are not using console.log anymore. We're just using the object itself, person, and then we use the operator dot to access to this property, which is what is your name, and then we use parentheses to make sure that it knows that this is a method, right? So person, what is your name? So whenever I say person, what is your name, it gives me the name of this object, right? Because we are using this function in here. Now, what will happen if instead of what is your name, or if we change the name of this person? If let's say we don't want this person to be named John anymore, and I change it to Mary, let's hit save. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. It'll automatically change the name here. Because we use console.log the name, right? And we can also actually use person that what is your name, and it'll give me as well the updated information that I just changed. Now, in this function itself, we can not only use name. I mean, if I want, I can display any other property that is inside of this object. So let's say this dot age. I hit save. Now I hit refresh. Instead of Mary, I get 25 because I am changing just the property that I want to get the result for. Instead of age, I can go ahead and hit occupation. So you can access any of the other properties using the word this. This is the keyword, and then dot to access to those properties, and then you just put the property name. So in this case, it's occupation. Let's hit save and let's hit refresh, and now software developer twice. And all of this is being done using the same method, right? This function right here, which is called a method inside of an object. Okay, so that's it. That's what a method is. Later in later episodes, I am going to be explaining you the different type of methods that we have and so much more. But for now, all you need to know is what a method is and what is the difference, between a method and a function, because a function is global scope. You can create a function outside of an object, but inside of an object and belonging to a property, a function is called a method. So I hope that was clear. Again, if you have doubts, just leave them in the comment section below. I'll make sure I get back to you as soon as I can to clarify your doubts. But I hope that this was clear enough. I tried to make it as easy as I could. I hope you liked it. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That really helps. And remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye, everybody, and see you again in the next episode.